All right, guys, we're going to talk about the number one subject that I live my life by, the thing that I do every day in every decision that I make. And whenever you learn this type of thing, if you're willing to go through that type of hardship and pain to learn this, everything else in your life will go smoothly, much more smoothly. You're still going to have a hard life because that's how life is. Learn self-control and master your emotions. Pretty sure that just freaked all you out because, let's face it, you're all a bunch of little bitches for the most part. Because y'all are weak. Y'all want to sit and play your video games all day. You want to do whatever is comfortable and easy. You want to go watch porn because it's fun in the moment. You want to go do all these things. You want to go out and eat that shitty food and that sweet little ice cream cone afterwards because it's nice in the moment. And because that's all you care about is the momentary, right here, right now crap. That's not what you do. You need to learn how to control yourself. Because here's the thing. Can you control the temptations in your life? If you can, you've got discipline. If you can't, then you are weak and you don't have discipline. You do not have self-control at all. And you can't if you are falling for your weaknesses, your temptations, and things of this nature. How much stronger is your flesh to you than your self-control? Do you choose to do, you go and choose and do whatever you want, right? You can choose to go out and eat, right? Whatever, right? Do you have the discipline to not go eat that chocolate cake that's 2,000 fucking calories and so bad for you? Do you have the discipline to be around a bunch of pretty girls and say one of them wants to take you home? Do you have the discipline to be able to say, no, that's not how I live. That's not what I do. I wait till marriage. I waiting for the one. I'm whatever. So not sleeping, making sure you don't sleep around. Do you have the discipline to say no to that? I sure as shit didn't a long time ago whenever I was young and dumb. And I fell for that. A few times. A few too many times. Do you have the self-discipline to not watch porn? It's a huge issue. Actually, again, one of the biggest issues that we deal with. Guys, I've never met a male that has never had a lustful temptation issue at some point in his life. And for the most part, most still have it today. Most still go and watch porn. And most are absolutely fucking pieces of shit when they do that. Why? How pathetic is it to watch other people have sex and you getting off on it? How messed up is that? Have you ever actually thought about it and been like, me just watching random ass people have sex and that makes me happy in the moment? Can you imagine like how messed up that is? God's with you everywhere. He's watching everything you do. How is it that you're going to be able to be that weak and be that degrading of yourself and who you are, that you're going to go watch something like that and be okay with it? And also, if you've never even thought about it this way, again, one, God's always watching you. Another way to look at it, if you were to record yourself, masturbating, would you want to watch that video and be like, ooh, let me watch this? Like, does that sound intriguing to you? Does that sound like it's something you'd want to do? If no, it's a pretty good hint to be able to tell yourself to stop doing that thing. You don't need to be falling for the fleshly things. You don't need to be falling for what the world tells you is okay and is normal, because it's not normal. We were not doing this the way we have been in this country, in this world, that long ago. Like, we have not been doing this that long. We've only allowed it to become normalized for a long enough period of time that once you hit a generation or two and you're like, hey, this is normal, this is what we all do, and then everyone's like, oh, okay, that's cool. It's not true, it's not right, it's not real. It is fake. It is not what you're supposed to be doing. When you feel temptations, again, specifically right now, we're talking about lust. Guys, we've all done it. We've all had that temptation in time. Some are probably still dealing with that. I dealt with it for a long time. And eventually I got to the point that I was like, okay, I need to stop this. What I do, I would go and I would either pray, I would read the Bible, I'd throw on and listen to some praise and worship music, and before I did any of that, I would initially just say, in Yeshua's name, leave. Like, I swear, it has gotten to the point that anytime some kind of a bad thought, any kind of a sexual fantasy, or any of that shit that we deal with, whenever it comes up, I immediately say, I recognize now. I train myself to say, hey, that is not normal. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing and thinking and believing. I go, in Yeshua's name, leave. And I swear it leaves. It's gone. And even in the beginning, if it didn't go and you were still thinking about it, then I would go read, pray, listen to some praise and worship. That type of evil spirit cannot stay around you whenever you're like, God, come here real quick. I need you to stay around me so that this other thing doesn't come inside me and mess with me and make me, become a failure again. Doesn't make me fall and make me, carry another link in the chain of this lustful shit that I deal with. God, you ask for God's help and He's going to help you. You got to stop doing these types of things. And by doing one of those 3-4 things, do them. Try them all. Anytime that you have that feeling coming on, you know what it's like. You're like, oh, this is coming along. Immediately, Yeshua's name, leave. Nope. Praise and worship. All right, God, let me talk to you. Let me grab the Bible. It can't stay around if you bring God in. Awesome quote. I love this one. 1 Corinthians 16, 13-14. Be watchful. Stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong. Let all that you do be done in love. If you're going to be doing an action, if you're going to be having a thought, if you're going to be wanting something, if you're going to be anything you do, think, or feel, or believe, if it is not of love, and God is love, so if it's not of love, if it is not pleasing to God, if it's not going to make Him smile and be like, that's my kid right there making a good choice. If it's not going to do something along those lines, then there's a pretty good chance you shouldn't do it, shouldn't think it, you shouldn't try it, you shouldn't be a part of it. Get rid of it. Don't sit there and try to be like, okay, well, maybe if I do this, maybe if I do that, maybe it would be a little better. Nope. You're not there to play the game. You're there to save your soul. You're there to get rid of and flee temptation. James 1:19-20. Now everyone must be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. For a man's anger does not bring about the righteousness of God. If you can't control, if you don't have the discipline, if you do not have the ability to control your tongue, to control your thoughts, well, you can't really control your thoughts so much. The actions you take on the thoughts you have, that is what you control. You only control how you respond to a situation. You think of some hot chick and you go like, I'm going to go watch porn and be a piece of shit watching that. You make the action have that. You can think of a hot chick all day. I couldn't care less. Whenever you go, oh, you know what? I'm going to go watch porn. That's when I'm like, stop, you little bitch. That is what a weak person does. That's what a weak guy does. No man. You cannot call yourself a man if you fall for that type of shit. I don't care if you're 18 or 25 or 50 or 80. If you fall for these types of evil things and you allow that to rule your life, if you allow some fleshly thing, which guess what, by the way, Satan can't work, he can't mess with your spirit, but he can absolutely get in and mess with your flesh. So if he can control your flesh and your weaknesses, and you listen to your weaknesses, guess what? You're listening to Satan. You are listening to the devil and what he's controlling you. So you are literally, you do what you think and feel, you are listening to Satan. If you're doing something that's bad and wrong and is not beneficial, it's not good, it's not holy, it's not any of this stuff that's positive, you are listening to the devil. If you're listening to your flesh, and your flesh is telling you to do evil things. And your flesh is going to, because it is our flesh. We are weak in that area. So you need to make yourself strong in that area. Don't lose your mind. Learn to build self-control. Don't get angry. I used to lose my shit all the time, and I had serious anger issues for the majority of my life. I would lose my mind on everything whenever, at times, when something built up and I just let it explode, I would lose my mind at times. It happened for a while, and then I was like, you know what? I am being a weak little bitch. This is not what a man does. And I did not even call myself a man. I wouldn't even allow myself to. I was like, you are not a man. You need to get your shit together. When I did, and I was like, okay, this makes much more sense. I am able to control myself now. I can control my temper. I've got a flat tire. I got 2 flat tires back to back. And my car towed on 2 different occasions within 2 weeks. I had a bunch of shit happen that cost thousands of dollars in a few weeks. And I was like, it happened, and I was like, God, seriously, why? Like, I don't know why, but thank you, but why? I didn't lose my mind, and I had to build up to that, of course. Because normally I would have lost my mind, and I would have broke a lot of shit. I would have done some dumb stuff. But I didn't. I got to the point that I was like, me losing my mind is going to do nothing for me. Me just dealing with the problem, fix the flat tire, go get the car out of the impound lot, go deal with the situation, the problem, and go about my day. Losing your mind and acting on your feelings and emotions, anger being a very strong emotion. You know, if you listen to your emotions, you are weak. If you're listening to something that is not you, then you don't have control over yourself. Proverbs 25:28. Like a city that is broken into and without walls, so is a person who has no self-control over his spirit. The walls, the borders, the things that are meant to keep outside influences from coming in, those borders and walls is your discipline. It is your self-control. It is you being like, I'm a man, I have a job to do, which is to keep these types of walls up so that I don't let outside influences, feelings and emotions, weakness, flesh, things that are not good for me, porn, alcohol, drugs, all this other stuff that comes in and will corrupt you. So if you don't have those strong walls of discipline, then you don't have self-control, and you're going to let your city fall. You're a temple. You're your own temple. If you don't take care of it, you're going to crumble. Marcus Aurelius, this man. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. You control nothing in this world except how you react to a situation. You don't control the weather. You don't control your health even. You can actually live a phenomenally very healthy life. But guess what? You can still have some type of sickness or illness, or some disease can break out. You can still get sick and die and whatever. So you can't control that. You can control how you react to you getting sick. You can control how you react and what you do when it's raining out and you plan on going swimming or go for a drive with the Jeep roof and doors off and whatever people do. You control how you react, period. You control how you react to that situation, period. Nothing else, no one else. You don't control anyone else, not your kids, not your family, not your friends, not your job, not your finances. You don't control anything the way you control how you act and react to situations. James 1:12-13. Blessed is the man who perseveres under trial, for once he has been approved, he will receive the crown of the life which God has promised to those who love him. No one is to say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by God, for God cannot be tempted by evil, and God himself does not tempt anyone. So God's not going to tempt you. He's going to tell you what's right and wrong. He's going to say, I love you. Here's the path of you do what I say, and you live by that. You will be blessed. You will have peace. I will be with you. You will have eternal life. You do what you want. You do if it's tempting you, that's a sign right there. That is not of God. It's from the devil. If it's tempting you, if you have a girl that's hitting you up and she's wanting you to go do and be the type of worldly, not godly man that you're supposed to be, and it's like, come on over to my place. It's like, well, let me see. Do I respond and talk to this girl and fall for it, or do I say block, delete? Nope. You make that choice. God's not going to tempt you. He's going to test you in certain things, and some things is him testing you, some is the devil tempting you. It's all types of whatever, but you have to control how you're going to react to that situation. So God's not going to be tempting you at all. But blessed is the man who perseveres under trial. So whenever you are put in those hard situations, when, not if, don't even use if anymore. Screw if. It's when. when you are put in difficult situations, when shit happens, when you have a hard time, when this bad thing happens, when, not if, when you are able to persevere and overcome this type of weakness, this type of trial, this type of temptation, when you're able to come into contact with whatever it is that you were struggling with before and you overcome it, awesome. That is growth. That is discipline. That is what we want. I came across this quote from Sultan Saladin. He was from like 13 or 1400 or something like year. I don't remember. It's a long time ago. Nearly a millennia ago. Sultan Saladin. If you want to destroy any nation without war, make adultery or nudity common in the young generation. Mind-blowing. What are we dealing with today? Look at yourself if this is you, and you got to be honest with yourself. Are you weak to nudity and porn and girls? And are you so very lustful that whenever a girl doesn't respond to you, you degrade yourself a little bit? Whenever you go watch some more porn for the 10th time today, like a little fucking child, do you not feel like complete worthless shit after you do it? I know I did every time. For years, I was like, every time it happened, I literally felt worse and I hated myself that much more every single time it happened. And that built up for years and years. Like, I was like just so disgusted with myself for so long. That is what we are at. That's where we are at. That's what is going on with the guys today. Is that you can't even be called men. I refuse to call anyone a man until they are able to fully get through this and be able to be like, I've overcome these feelings and emotions. I am not this anymore. I'm not weak to that. When you can overcome lust as a guy, if you can overcome the whole lustful side, not to say you hate women by any means, because that's completely the wrong idea behind this, is that you're able to control yourself, your actions. That you're like, oh, I'm horny. I don't care. That's not controlling me. Testosterone, hormones, chemicals, that doesn't control me. I control me. When you can get to that point, specifically with number one, lust, you have overcome 90% of the battle. If you can control that one thing, everything else will fall into place for you. Stoics believe in thinking with logic and reason. The world tells you to act on feelings and emotions. Yeah. Don't listen to your feelings and emotions. Girls can, girls do. That's a female thing. That's that. Guys, I'm talking to you. You are not meant to deal with your feelings and emotions. That doesn't mean not to be emotional. That doesn't mean you don't have feelings. It's not what any of that means. It means you can control it. That means when you stub your toe, you don't cry like a little bitch. It's like, ow, damn, that hurt. Nope, still got to go to work and go deal with what I got to. That doesn't mean that whenever, that girl doesn't take you up on the date or stood you up or doesn't want to go out with you or whatever the case is, you don't sit there and go, oh crap, woe is me, let me cry and bitch and moan and complain for an hour or two to someone else, to some other girl, to someone in general, and say, wow, I could have gone out on this date, but she stood me up, so it must mean something's wrong with me. No one cares. It didn't work out, it didn't work out. Move on. No one cares. Think outside the box. Pull yourself out of the situation. If you were with your friends, if you were with a friend or even a random person and they're going through that, say, hey, if I was going to give someone advice and I was going to tell them what to do next, and it was your situation, but you pull yourself out of it, and you're like, let me imagine this was like two of my friends or a friend. What would I tell them? Or if it was just a random person, so you have absolutely no emotions attached to it, what would you tell them? And then start doing that for yourself and be like, oh, okay, I'm not emotionally attached to this at all. There's no need for me to be. Jordan Peterson, if you don't know him, I don't know how. If you don't know Jordan Peterson, go learn about him. One of the, if not the greatest psychological genius of our time. This guy's phenomenal. If you're harmless, you're just weak. And if you're weak, you're not going to be good. You can't be, because it takes strength to be good. It's very difficult to be good. It's hard to do the right thing. If you've ever been in that situation where telling the truth was the right thing, you snuck the cookie, out of the cookie jar and mom caught you and you're like, oh, who do I blame? My little sibling, or do I take it and say, yeah, it was me? Whatever the case is, doing the right thing is very hard. That's why the world's kind of falling to shit these days, because no one wants to do the right thing. No one wants to take that self-accountability like a man that you're supposed to do and be. And they're just blaming on someone else. They're just finding an excuse. They're just, whatever. It's hard to do the right thing. I'll tell you what. Let me finish with these last two quotes and I'll explain more. Jordan Peterson again. You should be capable of harming others, but that doesn't mean you should use it. Here's another quote that he's like, you should be a monster, and then you should learn how to control it as well. That's another one of his quotes that I love and made so much more sense to me. And the last one is Japanese Samurai Code, Bushido. The only solution for bad and violent people are good people that are more skilled in violence. Yeah. So whenever you have people that are weak, that means they're not strong. That means they're not going to do the good, right thing because they refuse to, because they don't even have the physical, the mental, the emotional, the basic understanding to do the right thing. They are too weak. They can't even allow themselves to make the right choice. They are weak. When you have someone that is strong, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, you have someone that is strong, they know the right thing to do, how to deal with the situation in the right way, obviously to a point. No one's perfect, but when you have someone that is willing to cause harm and pain on someone, right? They are willing to rob you, they're willing to rape, they're willing to go knock over a bank, they're willing to kill someone, they're willing to do whatever. Whenever you have that type of uncontrolled weakness in a person, they can do a lot of damage and cause a lot of death, controlled by Satan, of course. You need to have someone who is strong. Not only strong, but stronger than the person who's willing to cause pain. You need someone who's able to go against that force, who is better and stronger and bigger and better, so they can protect all the good things. You can't protect yourself, you can't protect your wife, you can't protect your kids, your house, your property, your friends, your family. You can't protect anyone if you are not strong enough to literally physically protect them from an outside influence that is so weak that they're willing to cause all this harm and pain and evil in the world. So you need to be what is able to stop them, because not only are they weak, but they are scared. So whenever they have something that comes up against them, they will back away. And if they don't, guess what? You are more trained and more skilled, that you're able to be better, that they come after you, you can knock them down. And you know that you're not doing it because you enjoy it. You're doing it to take care of and protect and love those who are with you. Gentlemen, you need to learn how to take responsibility for your actions. You need to learn self-control. You need to learn how to control. Not have, but control your feelings and emotions, so you don't just react on something when it happens. No one wants someone, it's not right, it's not wise to have a long-term decision made on a temporary, momentary, in that moment there feeling. You don't want to go, be mad and then go take it out on someone else, because that someone else could be your boss, and then you're like, oh great, now I'm fired, I'm never getting a promotion because I just yelled at my boss and I hit him or whatever. You need to control yourself. Crap is going to happen to you every day of your life to some degree. Whether you allow God to come in and take control of your life, and you're like, I'm good. Jesus, take the wheel. Like, my hands are off. I have faith that whatever happens, when it happens, that God's going to take the wheel and he's going to be there with me. And he's going to help me in the storm. Not that it means I'm not going to go through the storm. It means he's going to help me in the storm. You need to learn to control yourself, guys. It's a hard one, but it's something you can do. I used to eat sugary, fattening crap. I ate all the crap. I ate fast food and sugars, and I ate everything. I eventually was like, you know what, I feel like crap when I do this. When I was about 13, 14, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to stop. So I weaned myself off everything. And that was fast food. And I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna eat fast food anymore. Mom, Dad, love you. Not gonna eat it. I'll eat at home. Then I was like, all right, cool. Now I'm eating sugary stuff. You know, now I need to wean myself off that. So I would take some weeks or months, and I would wean myself off of it. I learned how to have self-control and discipline, and be like, okay, there's something better that can be led to me having control and self-control and take accountability. All right, I was weak because I would allow this to rule me. I would allow my taste buds and the fact that I wanted to go eat sugar and, you know, and go watch TV late at night and go do whatever I wanted. It's like, okay, that's not beneficial for me. So I'm going to take control of this and get better. I'm going to make sure that I'm in control of me. Get your stuff together, guys. If you don't know, reach out, find something, find someone. I am always here. I'm happy to spend hours upon hours talking to you and helping you and showing you how to do this stuff. Till next time, you guys have a blessed night, and I really hope that this was able to make some sense to you guys.